You wake up to an ordinary morning. The sunlight filters through the blinds, scattering across the floor, and for a moment, everything feels perfectly normal. Until it doesn't. You stretch, blink, and feel a strange pull not from the room, but from yourself. Your fingers tremble. The edges of your vision ripple, as if the world itself is stretching apart. You take a breath, and the air feels heavier, thicker, like invisible water pressing against your chest. Then you look down and your hands are smaller, noticeably smaller. At first, you think it's just your imagination, but then the floor rises toward you slowly, relentlessly. You're shrinking, 1 centimeter every second. That's the rule of this nightmare. 1 centimeter gone, every second that passes. In the beginning, it seems harmless, a strange trick of perspective. You're 1.8 meters tall, then 1.7, then 1.6. Within 30 seconds, you're the size of a child. Within a minute, the world feels alien. The carpet fibers rise like grass blades. The dust motes become drifting planets. Your breath quickens. You try to call for help, but your voice is thinner, higher, as if the world no longer takes you seriously. At this speed, you'll vanish completely in under 2 minutes. The first instinct is denial. You pinch your arm, it hurts. You touch your face, still warm. So how is this possible? The human body isn't meant to scale like this. The volume of your body is shrinking faster than your height. For every centimeter lost in height, you lose cubic centimeters in volume, and with it, mass, strength, and presence. You are dissolving mathematically. If this continues, physics itself begins to turn against you. Your weight decreases faster than your surface area, meaning that gravity loses its grip. You'd feel lighter, almost buoyant. The friction of the air grows stronger compared to your shrinking weight. You try to take a step and stumble. The air resists you, like thick syrup. The molecules you used to ignore now collide against you like invisible rain. At 1 meter tall, your heart pounds like a drum. The air is no longer silent. You can hear it, the hiss of particles moving past your ears. The room feels enormous, cathedral-like. The walls are cliffs. The chair you once sat on is a monument of wood and fabric. You run or try to, but every movement feels wrong. Your legs, once strong, are now trembling under a new burden. The physics of scale. Muscles don't shrink perfectly. Your strength doesn't decrease in a linear fashion, it collapses. You trip, roll, and land beside a single dust particle. It looks like a gray pebble, crystalline and alien. And in that moment, the horror truly sets in. The world isn't changing. You are. You try to think scientifically to find reason in this impossible transformation. Mass energy equivalence, quantum compression, a glitch in the laws that hold atoms together. But every theory dissolves under one simple truth. You're shrinking too fast for physics to catch up. You wonder if your atoms are compressing closer together, or if space itself is stretching away from you. Maybe the constants of reality are no longer constant. At 70 centimeters, you feel the vibration of the world in a new way. Every step you take sends sound rippling around you. Your ears pick up frequencies you've never heard, the low hum of electricity in the walls, the thunder of your own heartbeat, the microscopic echo of the floor trembling beneath its own molecular dance. The world is no longer silent, it's alive. You reach the edge of your desk, now towering above you like a fortress. A pencil has fallen onto the ground beside you, massive as a tree trunk. You touch it, and it's smooth, colder than you remember. The molecules that once felt seamless now have texture, ridges, valleys. Your perception has evolved into something terrifyingly detailed. What once looked like a clean surface now teems with microscopic imperfections, mountains and canyons of dust, sweat, and oil. At 50 centimeters, your pulse slows. You feel dizzy. The air thickens again, not because there's more of it, but because your body is too small to move through it easily. For the first time, you realize that breathing itself might soon become impossible. Your lungs were built for a human-sized body. Now, their capacity is shrinking by the cube, while your oxygen demand remains the same. You gasp, the air doesn't come fast enough. The world swirls. 1 minute has passed. You're now 30 centimeters tall, about the size of a newborn. The floor is a landscape. The fibers of the rug rise like alien vegetation. The air vibrates with invisible energy. Every sound is amplified. A clock ticking nearby slams like thunder. You press your hands over your ears and scream, but your voice barely rises above a whisper. Your skin feels static. Tiny electric discharges crawl across your arms as air molecules bombard you. You're not just shrinking, you're entering a new layer of physical existence. At 20 centimeters, light itself begins to change. Photons no longer behave predictably. The wavelength of visible light dwarfs your shrinking eyes, vision begins to blur, distort. Colors fade, shapes lose definition. You see halos, interference patterns, shimmering walls of color, the electromagnetic fields around everyday objects, once invisible, now glowing faintly like ghostly auras. Your senses have crossed into the microscopic domain. You reach out to touch a droplet of water on the floor. It's massive, shimmering like a glass sphere. You touch it, and surface tension pushes back. The droplet holds its shape like a solid wall. To you, water has stopped being liquid. It's a shimmering planet, governed by forces far stronger than gravity. At 10 centimeters, the chaos intensifies. Air molecules crash into you with hurricane force. Your hair lifts and twists with every breath of wind. You try to shout again, no sound. The air density makes your vocal cords useless. You fall to your knees. The ground beneath you, the floorboard, isn't smooth anymore. You see its atomic texture, the wood's fibers, the grains, the subtle crystalline edges. And between them, darkness, vast chasms where light cannot reach. Your mind fractures between fear and awe. You realize that this is what it means to truly see the world not as humans perceive it, but as it exists. Unfiltered, infinite, terrifying. At 5 centimeters, your time is nearly gone. You see your reflection in a fragment of glass nearby, distorted, ghostly. Your features are barely human now, twisted by scale and refraction. You whisper to yourself, not in panic, but in surrender. I'm still here, right? But even as you say it, your voice is too small for the air to carry. Your body continues to shrink each second, tearing away another layer of identity. You are now 1 centimeter tall. The world is no longer the world, it's a storm of particles, forces, and motion. Everything hums with energy. The sound of existence itself fills your ears, the universe speaking in vibration, in chaos, in truth. You fall to your knees and look up at the colossal room that was once your home and understand. This isn't just the end of your body. It's the beginning of something deeper. You are dissolving into the very fabric of reality. And for the first time in your life, you finally see what reality truly is. At first, there is silence, then vibration. A hum that comes not from the air, but from the atoms themselves. You're no longer standing in the world, you're inside it. The room that once surrounded you has dissolved into a sprawling wilderness of unseen landscapes. The floor beneath your feet is no longer wood or carpet, it's a terrain of molecules. Jagged, glistening mountains of cellulose and dust, separated by canyons of empty space. You are now less than a centimeter tall, and you're still shrinking. The air has changed. It's not a gentle breeze anymore, it's chaos incarnate. Each molecule of nitrogen and oxygen is now the size of a boulder, hurtling toward you at hundreds of meters per second. You can't hear them individually, their collisions form a constant roar, a storm of impacts. Your body, fragile and light, is buffeted on all sides. You stumble, trying to catch your balance, but gravity feels strange now. Lighter, weaker. The pull of the earth, once your anchor, is losing its power over you. Instead, new forces rise in its place: surface tension, molecular attraction, electromagnetism, the laws of the microscopic world, now magnified into colossal power. A droplet of water looms before you like a shimmering blue moon. It's perfectly spherical, suspended on the fibers of the rug by nothing more than invisible electrical forces. You walk toward it, hypnotized. The closer you get, the more alien it becomes, smooth and yet alive, its surface rippling with light and movement. When you touch it, the droplet resists. Your hand presses against it like against a sheet of elastic glass. Surface tension, once a trivial curiosity, is now a wall of force strong enough to defy your entire body. You push harder, and for a brief instant, the droplet yields. You break through, and suddenly, you're inside it. The world changes again. Blue light scatters in all directions. You float in a slow-motion universe of glittering spheres, molecules of water, vibrating endlessly, colliding and reforming like living entities. The air bubbles you exhale rise like silver balloons, distorted by molecular chaos. It's beautiful, terrifying, silent. Each water molecule around you is enormous, its oxygen core glowing faintly, its hydrogen atoms dancing like restless moons. They twist and spin, bound together by electric attraction, constantly breaking apart and forming again. The bonds between them, hydrogen bonds, are now visible threads of blue lightning. You reach out, watching your hand pass between them. And then you realize they're not solid. Nothing is. Everything is vibration, charge, and probability. You're now smaller than a grain of sand, smaller than the fibers of the fabric floating around you. Every second still cuts another centimeter away until the scale becomes meaningless. You can see the structure of matter itself. Crystals form beneath you like alien cities repeating patterns of perfection, each atom locked into its lattice, humming with invisible energy. If you could listen closely enough, you'd hear them sing a chorus of quantum motion, the rhythm of existence itself. But the air is gone. Your lungs can no longer function not because they've stopped, but because air no longer behaves like a fluid. At this scale, molecules are too far apart to breathe. You are, quite literally, falling between atoms. And yet, somehow, you're still aware. Still conscious. Your body may be breaking apart, but your perception is adapting, shifting. Your senses are no longer biological, they're quantum. You see electromagnetic fields as glowing halos, electrons as storms of probability. You can sense the pull between protons, the trembling of quarks, the endless exchange of particles that keeps reality alive. The deeper you shrink, the more the illusion of solidity collapses. At a few micrometers, you see life again, but not as you once knew it. Cells loom like vast, translucent worlds, their membranes rippling like oceans. You drift near one, watching as protein gates open and close, allowing molecular travelers to pass through like ships in a cosmic harbor. Inside, there's movement everywhere, ribosomes clattering like factories, DNA coiled like an ancient script, mitochondria burning chemical fire. The entire cell pulses like a living star. You realize this is what life really looks like. Not in textbooks, not through a microscope, but from within. And yet even here, you're not done shrinking. At the scale of nanometers, even cells fade away. You've entered the realm of molecules, chains of atoms bound by electric force, twisting and vibrating in an invisible storm. You pass through strands of DNA, each one now stretching like a massive highway of information. Every twist of its spiral glows with coded meaning, a message written in chemical light. It's beautiful and infinite. And you're just a traveler passing through. But the shrinking continues. Now you can see atoms. They are not solid orbs as once imagined, they're storms of probability, shimmering clouds where electrons dance around invisible centers. The nucleus at their heart burns with incomprehensible density, a speck of matter holding nearly all the atom's mass, yet smaller than imagination allows. You drift among them, feeling their pull, their hum, their magnetic whispers. Each atom is both particle and wave, both something and nothing. And in that paradox, you sense the secret of everything. You are now smaller than atoms. You have passed through their electron shells. Now the electrons themselves are worlds around you, diffuse and ghost-like. You fall through them, not as through space, but through possibility. You feel the laws of physics unravel. Mass becomes energy. Space becomes uncertain. Time begins to stretch and wobble, no longer linear. At this depth, the universe is no longer made of things, it is made of interactions. Fields, fluctuations, and vibrations, ripples of probability that shimmer like stars in an infinite void. And then, silence again. For a long moment, you drift. You are smaller than quarks now, smaller than anything that can meaningfully be measured. The idea of distance, size, even existence has lost its meaning. You are now within the quantum foam, the restless sea of creation beneath all reality. Particles appear and vanish in flickers of light. Energy curves into existence, then dissolves. Space and time themselves shudder like breathing fabric. You realize you haven't simply shrunk. You've fallen through reality itself. Every centimeter you lost was a step deeper into truth, peeling away the illusions of matter, revealing the pulse of creation. There is no up or down now, only vibration, only the hum of the cosmos. You can no longer feel your body, yet you're still aware, a spark of consciousness floating in a field of endless potential. You wonder, am I still human? Or have I become something else, something that exists not in space, but in understanding? For the first time, you realize that small and large are meaningless. The deeper you go, the more the boundaries fade. Every particle, every vibration is connected. You are not shrinking anymore. You are becoming part of everything. At some point, there is no more shrinking. Or perhaps, there is no more you to measure it. You float in a place where distance has no meaning, where time is not a river, but a still lake, rippling with the echoes of every possible moment. Here, the concept of small collapses into itself. You are smaller than atoms, smaller than quarks, smaller than the Planck length, smaller than what can exist. And yet, you are still aware, still conscious, still something. You look around, though. Look no longer means seeing with eyes. Your perception has changed. You now sense reality as vibration, as a chorus of frequencies. You can feel the trembling of space-time, the endless birth and death of virtual particles flickering in and out of existence like cosmic fireflies. The void is not empty, it's alive. Each pulse of energy carries information, a whisper from the foundation of everything that ever was. For the first time, you understand what Einstein, Planck, and Hawking tried to describe. Matter is not solid. Energy is not constant. Reality itself is a pattern, a song of possibilities. Your consciousness floats through the quantum foam, the fabric from which space-time itself is woven. You see energy curves folding upon itself, creating waves, loops, spirals, self-sustaining cycles of existence. Everywhere you turn, you witness universes being born, microscopic bursts of energy collapsing and expanding, forming time, matter, and meaning. To each new universe, you are a ghost, a silent witness drifting through creation. You begin to realize, this is not the end of shrinking. This is the beginning of becoming. You try to grasp the thought, but thought itself dissolves. There are no words here, no language, no boundaries between mind and matter. Every vibration you perceive is part of you. Every fluctuation of the field ripples through what you once called your self. And then clarity. You understand. You are not a body that has disappeared. You are awareness that has expanded. By shrinking past all matter, you have broken the illusion of separation. You have entered the singularity that binds all things. In the distance, though distance no longer exists, you see waves of light rippling through the void. They move like thoughts. They are thoughts. Each one carries an echo of something familiar, a memory of the world you left behind. Your childhood laughter, a friend's voice, the hum of traffic, the sound of rain. Every memory becomes a particle of light, dancing in the fabric of space-time. You reach out, not with hands, but with intent, and the lights gather, swirling into a shape that almost feels human. You remember who you were, and who you still are. A new realization dawns. Perhaps the universe was never external. Perhaps it has always existed within you. As you shrink infinitely inward, you begin to sense the symmetry, the reflection between the vast and the small. Every atom mirrors a galaxy. Every quark dances like a star. The deeper you go, the more you see the infinite folding upon itself, repeating, echoing as above, so below. The universe is not large or small. It is self-similar. You are part of it, and it is part of you. And then, you reach the limit. The place beyond physics, beyond energy, beyond thought. Here, there is only potential. An ocean of pure possibility, where everything that can exist does and doesn't at the same time. You are not falling anymore. You are everywhere. You are the wave and the particle. the observer and the observed, the dreamer and the dream. For the first time, you understand why the universe hides its smallest secrets, because they are not separate from you. They are you. You try to comprehend infinity, but there is nothing left to compare it to. In this final state, there is no meaning to numbers, no concept of measure, no before or after. And yet, paradoxically, you feel peace, because you sense what all scientists and philosophers have sought: the unity of everything. The truth that existence itself is one continuous field consciousness, observing itself through endless forms. You are the electron spinning around a nucleus. You are the photon leaving a dying star. You are the neuron firing in a human mind. You are the breath of a planet. You are the silence between galaxies. You have become the universe looking back at itself. Then a flicker. The pattern begins to shift. The same energy that pulled you inward begins to expand outward. You feel yourself rising not through space, but through scale. Atoms reform around you. Molecules reconnect. Light becomes visible again. Air returns. You grow 1 centimeter every second. Reverse shrinking. Reemergence. Within moments, the microscopic world fades. The macroscopic returns. The roar of atoms becomes the whisper of wind. The blur of quantum foam becomes the room you once stood in. And you stand there, breathless, trembling exactly where it all began. Except, nothing feels the same. You touch the table. You feel the wood grain. You look at your hand and for the first time, truly see it. The skin, the veins, the tiny imperfections, all of it miraculous. All of it alive with invisible complexity. The world you thought you knew is now infinite. You can sense the vibrating fields beneath everything, the hidden architecture of existence. You realize you never really left the quantum realm. It was always here, beneath your perception, woven into every atom, every breath, every moment. You simply learned to see it. And as you stand in silence, a single thought crosses your mind. Maybe humanity has been looking outward for too long. Maybe the greatest frontier isn't space, but scale. Because somewhere deep within every particle, every atom, every person, there lies an entire universe waiting to be explored. And if you could shrink again, if you could cross that boundary once more, you would not ask, "How small can I get?" You would ask, "How infinite have I always been?"